Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and we continue with Secret Keys is Sweet and Tender. What a lovely game it is. We've gone through 2 days in 2 episodes today. It is time for another day. The next morning, let's see what's gonna be happening here. For my eyelids were still heavy. I opened my eyes and looked around vaguely. That reminded me that I stayed up late last night when Emma came to my room, and then we slept in the same bed. Emma, who had been sleeping next to me, was gone. Oh no! Without me noticing, she must have gone back to her room. I reached out to grab my smartphone from under my pillow. She's recharged, huh? What immediately captured my attention was... It should be immediately, but whatever. Was Emma's latest updated illustration. As Emma had told me the night before, where's the teen night? She had finished updating. There really is a lot of typos. While looking at the screen, I saw a comment. I was so happy. I was too happy. I was glad to see the newly updated illustration, and above all the comment only I could understand. That day, from the morning on, I would be so happy. Besides, if Emma was able to sleep well by sleeping together, that would be fine. But it was a little embarrassing. Just a little tiny bit. Well, actually not a little, but very, very embarrassing. While looking at the screen intently, I suddenly noticed the time. A little, just a tiny bit. It was 15 minutes later when I usually got up. Holding up my smartphone, I left the room to go take a bath. Are there really people who think about illustrations for so long? That's crazy. I knew that I had less time than usual, but I still used my phone through a sealed plastic bag while taking a bath. People actually do that? A girl wearing fashionable clothes was smiling through the screen. Partly thanks to the illustration, I felt the bath several times more comfortable than usual. The previous night, when I had seen it in Emma's room, she was still in the middle of coloring. But as she said she would, Emma finished her illustration properly. Which also means she did not get proper sleep, but well, no. While I was sleeping, she had gotten up and returned to her room, then continued to draw. I wonder if she got enough sleep. The answer is no. Enlarging the illustration, I kept thinking about those things. Suddenly I heard a small noise from the dressing room. I immediately realized that Emma had entered the dressing room. I tried to sit up straight in the bathtub. I glanced at the door. I could hear something faintly, but the door did not look like it was going to open. And then after a while, Emma left. I had thought for sure that she would get into the bath with me. It was a bit of a letdown. I shook my head in amazement and looked at the screen of my phone again. It was just before 7 o'clock. It was about time to get out of the bath and prepare breakfast. I got out of the bath, taking care that my smartphone not get wet. I dried myself a towel and then looked for my change of clothes. Did she steal it? I just stood there. She totally... she totally stole it! The underwear I had left there was gone. Instead, I found very sexy underwear there.
これって絶対エマさんの仕業だよね。
That's hilarious. Also, it can be considered hilarious in this situation. In case you don't know, they technically both live in the dorm right now, but there are only the two of them. There's nobody else. Just a moment earlier, she had come, another typo. She had come to the dressing room in order to switch out this underwear. But why would she? Whoa, I could hardly see the cloth part here. Almost see through. How oppressing! I could never wear them!
Konami 先生、早く出ないと遅刻しますよ。
That little punk. From the hallway I could hear Emma's voice. She sounded happy. As I thought, it was the work of Emma. Now I, as the guy, would just walk out of the bathroom with towel around my waist to the room to get the underwear and clothes in general. I would have no problem doing that. In her case, I guess it might be different for her.
っていうか、これを履くしかないの？
Or go the way I suggested. In any event, nobody else would see it. So I told myself, to myself, I rushed to change clothes, then went to the living room. I'm kinda curious what that underwear looked like exactly. When I got out of the bath, Emma had already had her calorie biscuit for breakfast.
ごめんなさい、エマさん。朝食。
I had offered to prepare meals, but I hadn't made anything this morning.
いいですよ。また明日に期待していますから。
Yare yare. Bringing her mug to the sink, she glanced at me.
それにしても着替えるの遅かったですね。
You little punk.
それは。
I wonder why the text is lagging behind. That was totally because of the sexy underwear. If only I hadn't overslept, I could have changed it into my own. Time was short because I had been admiring her illustration for so long.
今日はこれで過ごすしかない。
What? I'm a little surprised. Oh, whatever. I mean, what's the problem of changing just underwear? Whatever. Looking at Emma, who was putting away a mug, I sighed deeply, slightly. I somehow managed to get ready in time. After closing the front door, I left the dormitory. Ooh, what a nice place. As we left at the same time, I ended up walking with Emma to school.
落ち着かない。
About sleeping together or how her illustration turned out and so on. I had a lot of things I want to talk about with Emma. I felt even more uneasy because I was wearing sexy lingerie.
この下着って布面積少なすぎ。ちょっとスースーするし。
I couldn't take my mind off of the underwear. Suddenly I felt a soft touch on my fingers. I suddenly realized that Emma had grabbed my hands.
どうしたの？エマさん。
Emma didn't answer at all, but twisted her fingers around mine. Wait a moment! Isn't this like a couple holding hands? I panicked and tried to take my hands away, but Emma didn't allow it.
ねえ、エマさん、手。
I felt so embarrassed I finally turned my head to her.
手。
こうして手をつなぐのは嫌ですか？
そうじゃなくて、誰かに見られちゃうかも。
そんなこと。私は誰に見られても構いませんよ。
Well, you don't, but come on! Emma wouldn't let go of my hands. But her grip got weaker and weaker until I was able to pull my hand away at any time.
拍手を与えられてるみたい。
As if I could neither shake off nor grasp back her hands. I had just been grabbed by her.
そんなに深く考えなくていいのに。
Yes, she should.
だって
I didn't know how to deal with this hand. Looking at me, she giggled.
もう少しだけ繋いでくれますか？あの角を曲がるまで。
She totally should be a bit worried here, to be fair. I followed her glance. When we would turn the corner a few meters away, we would soon see the main gate. By the time we could hold hands would be less than 5 minutes.
それならいいですよね。
そうね。わかったわ。
I grasped her hand softly.
あのイラスト、なかなか自分でもよく描けたと思うんです。少し色味を濃くするか迷いましたが、新しい色も使ってみたくて。髪型はちょっと工夫したんですよ。
She seemed to be in a better mood than usual. She was talking a lot. Was it because we were holding hands?
制作時間はかかりすぎた気はしますけど。
While talking about the illustration, Emma was beaming and it made me so happy! On top of that, I was able to listen to her explain her artistic process. As her fan, I was overjoyed. Walking side by side, I looked over her profile as I listened to her.
聞いてます？
Suddenly Emma looked at me. The moment our eyes met and my heart skipped a beat.
あ、もちろんちゃんと聞いてるよ。
本当ですか？では、私が話したことを言ってみてください。
You asked if I'm listening.
エマさんの自信作で色とか工夫しててあと制作時間のことも話してたでしょ？
当たりです。
Is she disappointed that she was listening? Emma said briefly.
ね、ちゃんと聞いてたでしょ？
でも、先生はずっと黙ってるし、私だけが話してるみたいでした。
Yeah, but she was listening. She puffed out her cheeks a little. Could she be sulking?
かわいいかも。
She may. I mean, I think we already said from the very beginning that she was cute, but Emma always looked cool and mature for her age. Knowing that she could make such a childlike face made my heart warm.
先生もちゃんと話してくださいね。
About?
そうするね。
Huh? Emma continued talking, looking forward. The closer we got to the corner, the less we talked, although we had talked about various things. Besides, we started to hear other students' voices, even though we couldn't see them yet.
コナミ先生。
As she suddenly said my name and turned towards her.
どうしたの？
なんでもありません。
She said. She then squeezed my hand tightly again and then pulled her hand away. The morning homeroom class has ended! When I was erasing the chalk from the blackboard, my teaching mentor approached me. Miss Izuho, could you help me? Miss Izuho, could you help me a little? I totally changed the voice for the first time. Whatever.
はい、もちろんです。何すればいいですか？
Today we have a science lesson, right? So I want you to prepare the materials and equipment for it.
ということは、準備室に取りに行けばいいですか？
Yes, that's right. There is a lot of stuff, so it might be tough for you to carry alone.
そんなにたくさんあるんですね。
You need someone in the class to help. When the teacher looked out towards the students, Emma appeared before we knew it.
私がお手伝いします。
Huh? Will you, Miss Serizawa? She was surprised to hear Emma's offer and opened her eyes wide.
はい。よろしいでしょうか。
Sure, of course. It's just unusual to see you volunteering. It is so nice to actively help others out, right, Miss Izuho?
そうですね。
I could see how happy she was to hear Emma's offer, so she gave a lot of praise.
ありがとうございます。資料の名前と必要な機材の数を教えてください。
Oh, well, first. Without hesitation, Emma listened to and confirmed the explanation I should have been following. I need to get it together! After lunch, as the mentor had instructed, Emma and I went to the preparation room. Closely lined cabinets in the corner of the classroom were stuffed with various kinds of materials and equipment. I put 2 cardboard boxes on the desk.
こっちの箱には資料、こっちには機材を入れて持っていきましょう。
わかりました。
じゃあ、私が戸棚から取るから、エマさんはどんどん箱に入れていってね。
I took the lab equipment down from the cabinet and handed it to Emma. Also, much appreciated the fact that there was sound. That's cool. She put another typo. Everything in the box.
それにしても、先生すごく驚いてたね。
意外だったんでしょう。普段はそこまで積極的ではないですから。
That reminded me of what the teacher had told me about Emma before. For example, how she hadn't settled into a class or made friends with her classmates since transferring to this school. If such a person suddenly volunteered to help out, it would surely be surprising to everybody. At that time, other students who had been watching our back and forth from afar watched us with wide eyes.
みんなもエマさんのこと気になってるんじゃないかな。
For Emma had a distant air about her, she would have quickly started getting along with the other students if she had smiled at them like she did at me. I mean, you know. But they are not you. Wink, wink. After taking one more piece of equipment out, I switched my gaze from the cabinet to Emma.
エマさんが話しかけたらみんな喜ぶと思うな。
Emma glanced up at me.
そんなことよりも、用意する器具の数、数えてます？
No.
あ、ごめん。いくつだっけ
？15ですよ。ちゃんと数えてください。
ごめんね。気をつける。
Counting the equipment at hand in a hurry, I just thought. She had dodged my question just now, hadn't she?
器具は全部と。あとは資料集だけだね。
Also, maybe she just doesn't want to get along with all the classmates or whatever. There is an option like that. Did you know that? You didn't know, obviously, but I was in a similar situation in high school. Like, my physics teacher was like, I remember, I mean, she didn't say it to me, obviously, but when there was like monthly or every second month, whatever, meetings of parents with the teachers, right? Apparently, she told to my mother that, you know, do I have any friends? Because he's always so quiet during the lessons. I'm like, bitch, because I'm listening for what you're saying. God damn it. I mean, overall, I might have not liked the teacher herself. But I did like physics. Even for, I don't know, for some reason, you know, on my second year, like, to be fair, everything in general completely dropped for me. I could not focus at all or anything. But was still trying to listen and so on. To be fair, my grades also dropped at that time. Funnily enough. But whatever. But yeah, I guess there was surprisingly a concern about me supposedly not keeping friends. I just didn't care about people in my class. As well. I was listening to what was being said during lessons. And didn't care about those people too much. I mean, to be quite fair, I did not keep in touch with anyone from high school, so yeah. High school not my time, definitely. I prefer the years before that. Anyway, and also university was better, way better. Over here we are at university for with Emma and her new teacher. I look at the shelves Emma had pointed at. The reference books were up on the top shelf. I reached my hand up as far as I could. Don't you have like a ladder? There we go. I would expect it to be in that room for. Emma put the stepladder that had been in the corner of the room at my feet. So it was in the room. I climbed the stepladder quickly and looked for the reference books we needed from the top shelf. She will totally fall, won't she? I stretched both hands out and pulled the books down. The next moment I felt a light touch on my buttocks. I looked back immediately. No, it must be the ghosts! I was absolutely sure that I was touching my buttocks. Was that just a coincidence? While worrying about them, I picked up the reference book. Then this time I was touched around my thigh. At the same time, my skirt seemed to be turned up a little. What a little punk! She forgot! Oh, damn, now she will be blushing throughout the day. I totally forgot that I was wearing that sexy underwear. I was so embarrassed that my face was getting hot. Hiding my face with the reference book, I talked to Emma standing under the stepladder. Just then, what the fuck? Just then the sound of camera shutter came so as to block my words. I look back reflexively. Asuma with her smartphone in hand. You totally did! Emma was looking up at me with a blank look. She totally did. No. Incredible. She was talking about his station almost as if nothing had happened. Emma held out her phone screen so I could see it. Based on this reaction, is it possible that she actually hadn't taken a picture? Then what was that shutter sound? I glanced at Emma. She looked somehow happy. I mean, she's messing with you overall, yes. She could have just made the sound. Even had she enjoyed herself seeing my surprised reaction. Jesus. For I felt uneasy as Emma said the class would start if I didn't hurry.
とりあえず資料が先。
I went down the stepladder slowly with the reference books in both of my hands. I lost my balance just a little. Uh-oh.
コナミ先生。
She caught hold of me from behind. A sweet smell came wafting in. I felt Emma's the warmth of... What? I felt the warmth of Emma's body on my back, and my heart started beating faster and faster.
ありがとう。
危ないので支えます。
Dude, stepladder is like 3 steps, so not like anything would happen.
ああ、もう大丈夫だから。
The stepladder had only 4 steps. Okay, 4. Got it. A little taller than I predicted. So as long as I took care, I would be able to step down without any support. It's still not many. Even so, Emma kept holding me gently.
支えるっていうか、抱きしめられてるみたい。
After stepping down the last step, what would happen?
キスされるとか。
She said it out loud. In the preparation room, it was only Emma and me. So if we kissed, nobody would have seen us. Well...
だから、私ったらなんてこと考えてるの？
This was a this was a university and was still during class time. I told myself that as I descended the stepladder slowly. Wait, you are still not down of it?
よしょっと。
And when I reached the last step...
終わりですね、先生。
I'm sorry, I clicked way too fast. We are returning to hear the whole dialogue, of course.
終わりですね、先生。お疲れ様でした。
Sorry? Emma released my body right away and took the books.
どうかしましたか？
Now give me your phone. Emma was looking at me as if nothing had happened.
なんでもないわ。手伝ってくれてありがとう。
戻りましょうか。あ、箱を一つ持ってきてくださいね。
Well, yeah. Emma took the card box containing the reference books and walked towards the door. Watching her from behind, I felt confused about my feelings. I felt a little relieved about the fact that nothing had happened, but at the same time uneasy. Come to think of it, it was only me who was thinking about that.
先生、どうしたんですか？早くしないと置いていきますよ。
待って！
I followed Emma carrying the other cardboard box. Huh. After dinner, Emma went back to her room to finish her assignment. So I got in the bath ahead of her. I stretched out my body in the bathtub. The water temperature was just right. I could feel my exhausted muscles loosen up.
今日も疲れた。
Yeah. During my time as a teaching trainee, I had a lot of things to learn and the days passed quickly. But I was feeling fulfilled. For I felt nervous all the time. I also felt happy when students called me Selfie or talked to me. Besides, I had gotten used to this academy little by little and had some fun experiences.
この調子で実習も頑張らなくっちゃ。
Yeah. At that moment, I heard a noise from the dressing room. Thinking that Emma was coming, I adjusted my body a little. As expected, Emma came to the bathroom.
私も先に入ることにしました。
あ、そうなんだ。課題の方は順調？
It's finished.
いえ、あと3分の1残ってます。
Almost finished then.
でも集中力が途切れてしまって。
As she spoke, Emma went into the washing area.
それでお風呂に入って少し気分転換をしようかなって。
あ、そっか。煮詰まった時はその方がいいよね。
Yep. Having said that, I actually felt a little disappointed. I was sure she was going to say she had wanted to take a bath together with me.
私、何を期待してるのよ。
This girl. While I was panicking by myself, Emma had already sat down on a bath chair and had reached for the shower faucet. But before turning the faucet, Emma looked towards me.
コナミ先生ってもう体洗いました？
まだだけど。
While I was wondering why she had asked me such thing, she smiled at me sweetly.
せっかくですし
I know where this is going.
流し合いっこしませんか？
Exactly.
流し合いっこ？
Oh, so I spoke. My voice cracked reflexively.
それ。
That made me think of the underwear I had put on that morning or the happenings in the preparation room. Does she really just want us to watch each other's backs, or is she trying to do something else?
でも。
あ、コナミ先生、今日はこっちのボディーソープにしますね。
I was just mumbling while Emma had already started lathering up a sponge. Just then, a tender floral scent came drifting through the air.
ねえ、コナミ先生、早く。
Tempted by Emma, I sat down and stared.
よろしくお願いします。
そんなに硬くならないでください。ただ体を洗うだけですよ。まずは私から洗いますね。
Bubbles! Bubbles everywhere! The sponge slid slowly as it clung to my skin. My back was just being washed, but still I had a weird feeling.
先生の肌って綺麗ですね。
そうかな。エマさんの方が綺麗だと思うけど。
The sponge slid down smoothly from the center of my back to my lower back. I got chills when she moved the sponge with just the right amount of pressure. I yelled out unintentionally. Emma's hand holding the sponge on my back stopped.
くすぐったかったですか？
ちょっとだけ。
もう少し力を入れた方がいいですか？それとも。
The sponge glided across my back slowly, like I was being gently stroked. Actually, there is something I should
設定を
check.
開くね。
I think there was Nah, that doesn't really change much.
設定を開くね。
It straightened up my back as if an electric current was running down my spine.
エマさん、もっとしっかりこすっていいからね。
Why so loudly? As I said so, trying to play it cool, Emma chuckled.
感じやすいんですね。
I felt a little embarrassed. Emma began to wash my back a little more firmly as I had asked her to.
さてと、次は前を洗いますね。
Nice.
前？
This time, the well-lathered sponge was approaching the front. It tickled more than it had on my back, so my body moved reflexively.
ダメですよ、コナミ先生。じっとしてください。
As she whispered in my ear, I couldn't stop shivering.
だって胸まで洗うなんて聞いてないよ。
せっかくですから、先生の体、 隅々まで洗いますよ。
As she spoke, Emma waved her hands holding the sponge emphatically. At the moment, the sponge skimmed over the top, so I reacted with surprise.
エマさん、
どうしましたか？
Still smiling gently, Emma looked at me. I was so embarrassed that I had reacted that way that I shook my head lightly.
ごめん、なんでもない。っていうか、そこ大丈夫だから。
そうですか。じゃあ。
Are you sure about that? I felt the sponge which had been touching upper part of my body slide down my body. From around the belly, sponge crept into the thigh area. I was able to speak normally and could only manage a squeak.
待って、そんなとこまで。
心配しないでください、先生。ちゃんと優しく洗いますから。
恥ずかしい。
Our eyes met. Emma was watching me with a face that was somehow sad.
コナミ先生。
Being whispered breathlessly. At the same time, the slimy leather sponge was stroking my skin.
はい、コナミ先生。
She indeed is a cutie pie. Seemingly checking for my reaction, Emma was washing my skin earnestly and gently.
エマさん、くすぐったいから。
くすぐったいのは気持ちいい証拠ですよ。
Whispering so, Emma's lips seemed to smack on my ears.
はい、これで終わりです。
Meh. I felt too embarrassed or something to look at Emma's face. As I felt completely worn out, I kept sitting on the above chair for a while. Because of that, Emma had to wash her body by herself.
そんなに気持ちよかったですか？
Turning off the shower, Emma glimpsed towards me.
その。
気に入ったのでしたら、また先生の体洗いますよ。
Yeah.
あ、でも次は私のことも洗ってくださいね。
Yeah. Emma laughed merrily and walked towards the door, gazing at her back.
そんなの無理だってばー。
You have to. I shouted it as forcefully as I could in my head. You had no choice. That night, when I thought that it was about time to be getting to bed, there was a knock at the door. I opened the door and I found Emma standing there with a worried look.
どうしたの、エマさん。
寝つけないんです。眠くなるまで一緒に寝てくれませんか？
Nani? Unconsciously, my eyes moved right and left. Or maybe I wouldn't be able to sleep because of what had happened in the bathroom. It was just washing your back. Without thinking, I was lost in thought. What was the right thing to do?
先生、ダメでしょうか？
By the way, Emma has Konami wrapped around her finger. Let's face it. They say Konami. Emma put her hands together as if she was praying. On top of that, she looked at me from under her brows. Oh, that's not fair. Only in this way she's just like a student. Another typo. However, being gazed at by Emma made me feel really uneasy. In the end, I invited her into my room. Or more like she invited herself to be fair.
夜も遅いんだし、おしゃべりとかはしないからね。
Why not? That's what she came there for. Kind of.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Oh, kawaii. Emma was holding me tightly. I felt like a body pillow. I mean, no problem with me. Or rather, I was worried about whether she might touch me like she had in the bathroom. No, because you're not washing your bags right now. Come on, what are you talking about, girl?
ってエマさんのこと意識しすぎ。
Took you a moment to realize that. I breathed out a little. Since we had started living together, the number of opportunities to spend time with Emma had increased. Obviously. Like kissing, taking baths, or sleeping together. If I didn't want to do those things, I could refuse. But the reason why I didn't was because I didn't hate being touched by Emma. It sure was too forcible sometimes, or perhaps I might just be too easily swayed by her. Yeah.
エマさんといる時間が大切だもん。
Keeping hold of me, Emma didn't produce any reaction at all. Even so, it was so pleasant feeling her warmth closely.
先生、起きてますか？
No. Suddenly Emma muttered.
ん？どうしたの？
I opened my eyes and looked towards Emma. Then I found her stir slightly.
先生と一緒に行きたいところがあるんです。
Ooh.
え？私と？
はい。だから、もしよければ一緒に。
もちろんいいよ。でも、どこに行きたいの？
I think she was falling asleep. Yeah, she totally fell asleep.
ん？エマさん。
Yep, she's asleep. I waited to watch Emma carefully.
寝ちゃったね。
I stroked Emma's hair and closed my eyes slowly. Somehow I also felt sleepy.
おやすみ。エマさん。
Little by little my consciousness was fading away. Is it still night? Suddenly I woke up! It seemed that I had fallen asleep before I knew it. In the moonlight that came in through the curtains, I looked around the room, sitting up slowly. The scenery of the room was quite different from my own.
そっか。私、
Oh,
コナミ先生の部屋に。
we switched the perspective of person. Got it. Again, I looked back to the bed. Konami was sound asleep.
かわいい寝顔。
I stretched my hand and poked on the cheek, but Konami wouldn't wake up at all. Looking as her lips occasionally moved as if she were muttering, I started smiling without noticing. For a long time, I kept watching her sleeping face.
本当に不思議な人。
I mean, so are you, to be honest. When I first met Konami, I thought she was kind-hearted and cute. At first, I thought that kissing her would surely make her angry, but she didn't. Or rather, Konami attended to me nicely and accepted my selfishness. Because I was a student. University student. Or because I was Emma. Or maybe just because it was you. The time I spent thinking about her increased.
それだけじゃない。私、コナミ先生といると安心する。
Naturally, I couldn't fall asleep easily. But together with her like this, I could fall asleep peacefully. I stretched my hands from around her cheeks to her pajama top. Okay, I mean, fair enough. I understand her. When I put my palms on her chest, I could feel her soft breaths. As there was no signs of her waking up, I moved my fingers until looking at her face.
先生、起きないと。
She.
もっと触っちゃいますよ。
I put up my lips up to her ears and tried to mumble in a mischievous tone. Looking at her cute sleeping face, I want to touch her more. To an off-guard Konami, I knew I shouldn't do this.
少しだけ。
I began to unbutton her pajamas slowly. Oi! 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 And hiked up her camisole. The moonlight coming in through the curtain illuminated her figure clearly. As if I had been asked, I touched her directly.
Konami-sensei.
The warmth and softness I felt in my hands was so perfect it drove me crazy. I moved my fingers slowly and enjoyed the feel of her body. Suddenly her eyebrow moved with a twitch. I immediately stopped moving my fingers and watched and waited. Did I want her to wake up or not? The feeling was hard to describe, but when I opened my mouth naturally.
私、どうしてこんなこと。
Yeah, good question. Good question.
コナミ先生。
I kissed her guardless lips. Just gently touching my lips to hers only caused her to make a slight movement. I pecked her lips many times. Every time I kissed her, I felt the sweet and soft texture of her lips, which was so lovely. With a light sucking sound, I kissed her on the lips repeatedly. Before I knew it, Konami was looking at me. She might not understand what had happened, she had just zoned out.
コナミ先生。
I stopped kissing and talked to her gently. She's not really conscious, is she? Konami seemed half asleep and was blinking slowly. I watched her behavior attentively.
もう少し寝ていましょうね。
As if she was under a spell, her eyes closed slowly. I smiled slightly. Then I got up and looked down at her. Since then, she hadn't woken up and kept sleeping soundly. Maybe it was just a coincidence that she had woken up earlier.
本当に無防備なんですから。
I gave her a soft hug and kissed her again. Anyway, move back in time, different perspective. As I felt the warm touch on my lips, I suddenly woke up. Emma's face was very close to me. I got them. I clicked too fast again.
爆力ジャンプです。
All of a sudden, I felt the touch on... My shoulders were trembling.
待って、これって。
While being kissed, Emma's hands were... touching here and there. I couldn't understand what had happened here, and inside my head, my brain was in a state of panic.
この場合、どうすればいいの？
It would be awkward when she noticed that I was awake. So it'd be better to pretend to keep sleeping. I closed my eyes tightly and accepted her kisses. But when she touched here and there, my body jumped up.
Stop!
I wanted to yell out, but I couldn't manage any longer.
コナミ先生？
Our eyes met decisively. Emma seemed a little surprised.
いつの間に起きてたんですか？
ちょっと前から。
Why did the dialogue change for? Without saying anything, Emma pulled away from me. She got down from the bed. Had I just gotten her bedside? As I had thought, Emma looked back slowly.
部屋に戻ります。ありがとうございました。
She spoke in the same tone as usual, but she looked a little nervous. Even though she said, "Thank you," this was still an awkward situation, wasn't it? I was wondering whether I should have said something. Then Emma glanced at me.
おやすみなさい、コナミ先生。
おやすみ、エマさん。はあ、何だったんだろう。
Yeah! Alone on the bed, I threw both my hands out. I could still feel Emma's warmth there. Tracing the bedsheet with my fingertip, I sighed. My pajama top had been unbuttoned a little bit. Which means she had been kissing and touching a little bit while I was asleep. But once I noticed what she was doing, she had left the room as if nothing had happened.
エマさん、一体私をどうしたいの？
I mean, I could tell you, but... yeah. I even felt clear-headed, so I tried to think about Emma. But...
ダメだ。やっぱりエマさんが何考えてるかわかんないよ。
how do you not get it? An annoying sigh spilled into the quiet room. And this is the next day, which will be in the next episode. Oh, we jumped quite a few chapters over here. Interesting. Anywho, we'll end it for today. Emma is going a bit too far, to be quite honest. I mean, I guess with the buff and so on, sort of okay. But, yeah, the stuff that she's done while Konami was asleep. Yeah, this is going too far. This is definitely going too far. This is basically going into the very creepy territory. I like her overall. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, this is too far. I don't know, maybe if, you know, it was already stated in a way that they are in a relationship, maybe then I would say, okay, that's fine, they are together, they are a couple. But technically they aren't, so yeah. This is the creepy department for her over here. With that message being said, let's end the episode. Maybe don't act like Emma. You better don't. Over here you learn how to not act, basically, today. In today's episode you learn how to not act yourself. Alright, because those guys are honking at me to speed up ending the episode, I'll do so. If you enjoyed, consider liking the video. If you're new around, subscribe, that would be super appreciated. Obviously, we'll play more games. And we'll finish this one first of all. But after that we'll play more games, I believe. And have a wonderful day.